This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman with Nermeen Sheikh.
Spain and Italy are sending naval vessels to protect the Gaza-bound Global Sumud Flotilla after activists said that drones repeatedly attacked their boats near Greece on Wednesday. In a statement, the flotilla organizers said, quote, multiple drones, unidentified objects dropped, communications jammed, and explosions heard from a number of boats.
Passengers aboard the flotilla, there are many boats, include the Swedish activist Greta Thunberg and Nelson Mandela's grandson, the South African MP Mandla Mandela. We're going to go to Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg.
The messages we have to Palestinians in Gaza are many. First, that I'm absolutely disgusted and appalled to live in a world where our people in power every day are betraying Palestinians, and how there are so many people who can seemingly just accept the extreme injustice and the mass slaughtering of people without doing anything. So for that I am heartbroken, and this is not about me or my feelings at all, but I'm heartbroken to live in that world. What is happening now, for example, in Gaza City should not come as a surprise, because Israel have been very clear from the beginning that this is their intent. They have genocidal intent, that they want to take over the Gaza Strip, which is such a serious war crime. The world has not listened. Right now people are more and more waking up, but at what cost? What is happening is, of course, an attack on Palestinians, the Palestinian identity, and the Palestinian nation, and all the countless of people whose suffering is being reduced to numbers and UN resolutions. This is also an attack on humanity, on international law, on every sense of humanity we have left. The biggest risk is how we have allowed fascism and racism to escalate to such an extent that history keeps repeating itself.
We're talking to live on the ship, David Adler, co-general coordinator of the Progressive International.
So, David Adler, just before we finish, if you could say, what exactly are you carrying on the ship to Gaza, and what are you calling for now?
We are carrying these ships. Some of them are humble motor cruisers like the family boat where I'm stationed, the lead vessel of the broader fleet. Some of them are even humbler sailing boats, are packed to the gills with basic and critical humanitarian aid, baby formula, medicine, food, and water. However, we're not naive about the scale of the suffering in Gaza and the scale of the humanitarian crisis that requires a much larger and more ambitious response by the states, whose good faith obligations under international law require them to respond on the genocide.
David Adler, co-general coordinator of Progressive International, one of the people on board the Sumud Flotilla headed to break the siege in Gaza. Spanish and Italian naval ships have gone to protect them. I'm Amy Goodman with Nermeen Sheikh for another edition of Democracy Now!
Thousands of Italians gathered in central Rome in just one of the grassroots protests, blockades or strike actions taking place in 80 cities across Italy Monday, denouncing the war in Gaza. And striking dock workers blocked access roads to ports in Livorno and Genoa.
Why am I here? Because we must be here. Because we're human beings. And that's what matters. Beyond party politics, we must remain human. How can anyone remain indifferent to what's happening?
Italy and Spain are sending warships to assist the international aid flotilla trying to take aid to Gaza after it came under drone attack. The Global Sumud Flotilla is using about 50 civilian boats to try and break Israel's naval blockade of Gaza. Many lawyers and activists, including Swedish climate campaigner Greta Thunberg, are on board. An Italian frigate was sent on Wednesday, hours after the Global Sumud Flotilla said it was targeted by drones in international waters off Greece.
I'm not scared of Israel. I'm scared of a world that has seemingly lost all sense of humanity. And what we are doing here is trying to show that there is still some humanity left, that there are still people willing to step up when all other means fail. But this is a last resort. This mission should not have to exist. We are continuing our journey towards Gaza to deliver humanitarian aid to a population that is being systematically starved. That's a continuation of decades and decades of suffocating oppression, apartheid and occupation. There are over 2 million people who are living trapped under a siege, who are being systematically starved by Israel. And we are doing our bare minimum and stepping up when our governments are not fulfilling their legal obligations to act to prevent a genocide. The UN Commission has now confirmed what Palestinians and human rights organizations have been saying for a very, very long time, that there is a genocide in Gaza. And under international law, states have a legal duty to act. Not just to speak up, but to act to stop it, ending arms transfers, ending complicity and applying real pressure. And we are calling on all the world's governments to take on that legal responsibility. It should not fall on us as civilians to step up and to deliver humanitarian aid. The closer we get to Gaza, the higher is the risk of escalation and more attacks. The last weeks we have seen numerous escalated attacks against our mission that has damaged several boats, where drones have been dropping explosions, chemicals and unidentified objects on and around boats in a desperate attempt to intimidate us and to silence and scare those who are standing in solidarity with Palestine and to further dehumanize Palestinians. We are not just delivering humanitarian aid, we are trying to deliver hope and solidarity and to send a strong message that the world stands with Palestine. The world has not forgotten Gaza, and when our governments are failing to step up, the people will do so. We are undeterred. We continue our mission because we know that there is no alternative. We are not acting to come to the rescue of the people of Palestine. The people of Palestine do not need anyone to come and save them. We are hearing and acting upon the calls of Palestinians for everyone who can take action to do so. So we are acting and ending our complicity. This is the bare minimum of we can do to highlight Gaza and the situation there. We are also challenging this extremely violent business as usual that is failing to prevent even the worst war crimes from happening. So keep your eyes on deck, but most importantly keep your eyes on Gaza, because as we speak, Gaza is being erased.